All right. Hello, friends. Welcome to Music Nation Speaks with me, Joe, where I use this platform to chat and learn from people who are passionate in what they do and authentic in who they are from all walks of life. And I'm very, very happy to be, doing this episode today because it's a duo that I very, very much admire and love. So before we move into our conversation with our next guest, a bit of housekeeping to do. So, Music Nation is now offering a package of 12 sessions for singing and songwriting. So, sessions will be done online and they'll be conducted by none other than yours truly. All right. So, the cool thing about these sessions is that you can do them anytime. It doesn't have to be weekly. So, if you would like to sing or write, 3 times a week, that's fine too. Just hit us up, DM us on Instagram, Facebook, or send us an email to sign up today and get started on your music journey. All right. So, without further ado, let us welcome today's guests, Phoebe and Elisha of Avery Fos.
Hello,
Woohoo!
hello. Oh,
Hello.
Applause. How are you guys? The bigger question is, where are you guys?
I'm in Brunei.
And I'm in KK.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was about to be like, what? That's not what you told me just now. Funny story, guys. So before, literally 3 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes before we went live, I did not know that Elisha is from Brunei. And I've known Elisha since our college days, since 2013.
Yeah.
Oh,
I am. It's been how many years now? 8 years.
Oh yeah, I think it's almost 8 years. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god. Feel old yet, Elisha?
Do we feel old yet? That's the question.
Do we? No, no, no. I refuse. I'm asking you now.
Yes. Yes. Always. Always has been.
Yeah. So, Elisha, are you in Brunei or are you in Kiki?
Yeah. Okay. I'm in Brunei. I am in Brunei. And I am
Okay.
from Brunei and I am Bruneian.
There we go. And Phoebe.
I am in KK. I am from KK, and I am Malaysian.
I
I'm
love
the
it.
honorary Malaysian.
Yes. Can lah. It's just a small island, right? It's small island. Pula small part. We adopt you ni
Yes.
lah.
Can.
Yeah, and I'm so surprised because like well, one, I'm a terrible friend. I'm aiming to correct that now. But two, also because in the EPK that you guys sent me, it says the Bornean alternative synth pop duo, right? So to me, Borneo, okay, that side lah, not Semenanjung. I never questioned it, but now I know lah. So thank you for letting me know. Yeah, and I'm now it makes sense. It's instead of just Malaysian. Now it makes sense.
Yep.
All right, but first of all, thank you so much for doing this. I look forward to speaking with you guys because I like I told you guys just now, the first time I saw you guys perform was at Blue Room's event. Shout out to Plug into the Blue
Hey.
Room. And that's why I have the blue light ish trying to
Oh,
shine through from the floor.
we can see it. We can see it.
Yes, aesthetic. And when I saw you guys perform, it was so beautiful because like we hardly are able to catch acts like you guys, like Avery Fos, the sound, the aesthetic here in Malaysia. And the only time that I was exposed to that genre of music and to those kinds of songwriting, even like aesthetic of music when I was in Boston, and Laney was a thing, or Wonder, 1975, that is the
Yeah.
the the
Yeah.
genre lah. So when I heard you guys, I was like, yes, we have a very own Malaysian. Oh, wonder. Yes.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I love it, and that music in particular brings me so much comfort and so much joy, because when I was in Boston, I was, you know, we were halfway across the world, and then we're alone, we're not with our families. So to hear you guys perform that, and not only that, like, it's your original music, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised, and I want to talk more about the songwriting process today, because I'm so, I'm a songwriting nerd in a little bit, and I have to use my degree. So, first question, we're gonna dive right into it, lah. Huh? How did you guys
Right.
meet? And what made you guys, wanted to collab? Like, hey, yeah, we can do this together.
We met in church, did we?
Yeah, yeah, we met in church because back then
Yeah,
I was in
yeah.
KL. I was studying. She was studying as well, and we went to the same church. That's how we first meet. I'm confident to say yes. That's the first time we meet.
It was either church or ICOM, but then yeah, but I didn't go to ICOM until you guys used me as free labor. But
We are all free labor in Icon.
yes, that's true. But we met in church, and then how did we? I think then at one point I was looking for, I was kind of doing my own singer songwriter thing prior to that, and Elisha was Elisha, being
What is that supposed to mean?
doing, you were sessioning, you were a music
Oh yeah.
student,
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember that conversation. We were, I think, checking. We were in Merdekari at some gig or whatever, and
Oh
then
yeah.
we were like, "Hey, I want to write something else than what I've been doing." And you
Mm.
were like, "Okay, well, let's do it." So that's how we kind of decided to set aside a week. Like, let's just meet up
Hmm.
for a week and write without any expectations and see what comes. So by the end of the week, we had the EP.
Huh?
Um, yeah, so we wrote a song a day, and by the end of the
We
week, we had
we
the
we
EP.
got 4 songs.
And we
In a
still didn't know
week?
what to do with them. There was no intention. It was just purely, let's write, and that was how. So then, when we had the songs, we kind of had to then do something about it. Like, oh, we got songs now. How?
Yeah.
Start band lah. Okay. So that's it.
That's usually how we go, isn't it? As musicians, we
Yeah.
write first, we play first, and then, oh, what to do now?
Yeah.
Start band lah.
Yeah. People has this misconception that it's always a magical experience or like magical eureka moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was really chill. I was,
Yeah.
you know, tag team. You write first. You use the laptop. Then after that, I'm awake from my nap. Is it my turn? Okay, let me do it.
Yeah,
And it was just
it
like that
was
for the whole week.
it was just yeah, there was more of like just waiting what's gonna come out from the other person rather than like being together, sitting there, working on something at the same time. So it was quite a back then it was a first for us, so it was pretty interesting. It was pretty fun. I think it contributed to the like especially with no expectations and everything,
Mm.
and um and it was quite a journey lah, and we we didn't even, like time flies like with all
Mhm.
the experience with everything added together.
Yeah. Wow. And okay, I want to circle back into, the me- mechanics of how you guys collaborated, because, like, when I think of co-writing, it's usually me and another person sitting down together and, like, churning out ideas and going back and forth at in the same room at the same time, right? So it's very interesting that you guys are going back and forth, but, like, okay, let me finish my part, and then after that, let me see what the other person has, and we'll come back to that, especially in the once we touch the songwriting process, right? So let's backtrack a little bit. So, Elisha, I know, we know that, we went to ICOM, we had, like, a higher education in in music. We went to a music college, but I don't know anything about Phoebe. So Phoebe, what is like your individual music journey? How has it been, and how did you get into music actually? And then Elisha will come back to you, and then you can
Yeah.
add on to, I know your icon, but I don't know your before and after. So you can tell me.
Uh, how did I start with? I think I've always kind of just like I've been I've been surrounded by music uh, since like a really young age. That was how my parents put me to sleep.
Ah.
Um,
And
and
is it also
then
because of church?
not really in the beginning. It was just something that I gravitated to as a child, and like, oh, that works in making that child sleep. Then let's just play the music, like that was just how it was. And I liked, I think as a child, I I liked singing, um, and then but couldn't. I don't know. I was just, yeah, I watch. I remember watching old video recordings of me singing as a child, and now
Oh,
I know I was completely tone deaf as a child. But uh,
who wasn't?
there are like perfect pitch kids, but I was not one of those. Um, but anyways, I just started wanted to expand beyond just singing, and found songwriting to be an outlet that I really enjoyed doing.
Mm.
So I took up songwriting as a teenager, and then self-taught until today, still self-taught. I went to uni, and I kind of had the choice of whether or not I wanted to do music, but I somehow wanted to explore a different form of storytelling. So I went and I majored in broadcasting. So I got to learn a little bit about film, TV, and radio, and how that works as a form of storytelling. But then after that, decided to still do music full time. So here I am.
But I feel like uh uh you majoring in broadcasting definitely, has uh it's so beneficial, like
Oh yeah,
for you, right? In
for
terms
sure.
of concept of like music videos, of like, like how the what people see, plus now, because it's two of you guys, right? So you have a background of what people see on top of what people hear, so it's like a complete package.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you're right. It does. It really did open my eyes on. Oh, so having had a background as a broadcast student, you kind of you kind of do know from a visual sense how does music come into the picture, and then
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I guess just try to find a way to marry those two things together.
Yes,
Yeah.
roti kawin,
Oh,
broadcasting and music.
are you the kaya? Are you the butter?
I will always be the kaya. Okay. Oh wow, that's so
Yeah,
cool. All right. So okay. Music first, and then, well, I guess, uh how I relate to it is, like, it's so nice to be able to, at the end of the day, music is the thing that we always go back to. If No matter if we make it a job, if we make money with it, make it a career, like, even if I have to teach, right? Like, I deal with music all day, with my students and things like that. It's Yeah. And then, but at the end of the day, I would still want to sing leisurely as a hobby, and sing,
yeah,
you know it's my type of self-expression. And, for you, I feel like, it's so cool that you took the step to explore beyond music, and then will always have the option to come home to music as well, and you're doing it now. And the thing that you went to explore, uh benefited, like, it's an added bonus to what you're doing now, so that's so cool.
that's really cool to hear from you. Like, yeah, sometimes we kind of do take it for granted, and it's just cool to, yeah, hear it from
Yeah.
another person. Yeah.
That's how I see lah. What about you, Elisha? Like, what's your before ICOM and what's your after ICOM like?
Oh man, my before I call, it doesn't really sketch a proper picture of who I am right now because, like, before I even took music, I was a major science stream student with science stream background.
Huh?
So, yeah, I was a science stream student all the way up to A levels, all the way up to I kind of got into uni for a bit, but then I said like, oh, it's not something for me, so I decided to pursue music. More on that. Um, yeah, I'm that typical student: biology, chemistry, physics, additional maths, all the way
So
up to
you're the
Form
smarty
Six.
brains lah.
Back then, yes.
Quite smart, huh? Yes.
Quite smart. Was. Then I got
Oh,
into I got then I got into uni, and then I took this course called environmental studies.
no.
So yeah, yeah, it was more of a geography kind of thing. But then yeah, like I mentioned earlier, it wasn't quite up for me. The only reason why I took it was because, oh, I had the highest grade in geography for my last exam. Okay, let's just go to uni and apply for this course since I have the highest grade for this kind of area ish. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kind of bit the bullet for a year and then decided, nah, it's not for me. Um,
You couldn't take it
so
anymore. Too much
I couldn't
dirt.
take it. Too much dirt, too much geography, too much land, too much mud. But yeah, during the whole process, I actually picked up music when I was in high school because I saw a lot of my friends play guitar, and I
Mm,
was interested in learning to play the guitar because of how it sounds like. So, but then I was the kid that does finger style, like no pick, just using your hands kind of thing.
yes.
So that was me all the way, 100% before I went
Mm,
to Kuala Lumpur. Uh,
mm.
the reason and also the reason and essentially that's all me, but I didn't have any music theory. I was learning songs by ear. I was arranging songs um
Based on feel,
based on
like,
feel, based on sound, like
mm,
like a full band song. I arranged it into like a finger style kind of thing, and everything was just by ear and just by how it sounds like. And I thought that was I thought it was pretty good back then. I felt good about myself back then.
don't we all before we entered college and then you realize shit, we ain't
That's
shit
Yeah,
so
here.
true.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's so
yeah.
true.
That was my feeling when I went to Kuala Lumpur, and it wasn't just college. It was just the scene, the community, all these
Mm,
crazy people, like just
yes.
doing their own thing and doing it really super well. So I was really intimidated,
Yeah.
and I was extra intimidated in my first year because when I went into college, I didn't know any music theory, so I had to like take I think some of their supplement classes. So
Mm,
I didn't know how to read. I remember we had like this placement test before we go into college, the music theory
yeah.
part. Yeah, I
Mhm.
was that student. I was like just looking around. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it and then just wait for the time for me to actually go out.
You are like, what are these tauges? Don't need these
Yeah,
lah.
what is this? What is this? But yeah,
Yeah.
it was hard. It was really hard, especially my first year. Like that was the I think the lowest point in my life in Kuala Lumpur because I thought I
Mm,
was like I thought I was like the guy, and then it didn't really matter anymore. And on
right.
top of that, I went to college. I went to Kuala Lumpur expecting to go back to just be this like superstar fingerstyle guy, but of
Ah.
course that didn't work out, as you can see now. But what but like
What
during the
came out
course
was
of
even better.
but yeah, that's the amazing thing. Like I came in with expecting something, but I came out with something even better, something more. I kind of like um for the most part a more mature mindset
Yeah.
um with what I want to do with like just this with the skills that I have,
Yeah.
and a bigger appreciation of what music is generally, not just like basically in all areas. And I really thank everyone in Kuala Lumpur, even in college as well. I want to thank you as well. That includes you too, the seniors that I look up to.
Senior
Woo!
kononnya.
Yeah. No, no, really, really. Like I think the first performance that I saw in college, because ICOM does that Friday performance thing, right?
Oh, don't
Every
remind me, Elisha, please, please, please.
yeah. Okay. Looking back, we don't want to look back. But then I just taking myself back to a few years ago, just seeing you
Yeah.
guys playing on stage. It was really, I got scared. I got intimidated, but I knew that if I leave, it'll be all for nothing. So it was
Yeah.
really just a motivation for me to just push forward and just push forward, see what the results are, and then work with the results. But yeah,
Aww.
that was me before going back here. I did like
Mm,
gigs and all, and
mm,
teach as well. But
mm.
well, for the most part, yeah, that's me before all of this.
Everything. And look at you now.
Look at me now.
Production.
Woo!
Hey, hey. Same, but different. Yeah, and it's so cool, and I really resonate with your story, Elisha, because like that was what happened. I'm not from KL. I'm from Kuantan, Pahang, small fishing town, East Coast, Semenanjung lah. And then
Mm,
like it's like I thought I was the shit, and then coming to KL, look, like, first of all, I haven't heard of funk. I don't know what jazz is. I don't know what R&B is. That
oh
kind
yeah,
of thing.
likewise.
And yeah, and then like I was trained classically, and then I came to Kia with the mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna be a rock star. I'm gonna be like Haley Williams from Paramore, that kind of thing. And like I I think that the word to use here is humbled. I was so humbled
Mm,
by the
yeah.
experience, and knowing that that eh, it- if I thought that this was the ceiling, there's so much more to learn, and there's so much more to grow. And likewise, like I thought that I was going to be a performer forever. Like either I be a performer or I quit music, that kind of thing. And then eventually I after going through education and things like that, like I realized that I really love teaching. Like it's another calling, and it's something that I can do. Okay, can I do this for the next 5 to 10 years? Yes, I can. Okay, if I look further, can I do this for the next 10 to 15, 20 years? Yes, I can. So it's like I feel like for you it led to from fingerstyle into songwriting into the synth pop thing that we're gonna dive deeper into. And for me it evolved from just performing and then teaching, and then like it's we make it our own way to sustain ourselves in music. We path our own,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we carve out our own path in music. Yeah, and it's so cool to see. So let's dive into the songwriting process lah, huh? So here I think what I want to talk about is what are some of the technicalities that or like some agreements or like some timeline that you guys come together and like, hey, let's use one day to finish this, that kind of thing. That is there like an agreement? Is there like oh, let me write the song form and then you add a melody on top of it and blah blah blah, blah. Let's go into that. Like give me a gist of your structure, songwriting structure.
Where to start?
Hmm.
And how has it evolved from the beginning versus now?
Ah,
To be honest, I
yeah.
don't think it has evolved that much, even with the pandemic, because like now that we're talking and I'm kind of like thinking, it we've been comfortable with the whole tag team way of making stuff since day one, and it wasn't something that was intentional. It wasn't something that was like, okay, we need to do it this way.
Mm.
It just kind of happened. I don't know how.
Right.
I That's
You
my experience
found
of it, at
your
least. And yeah lah. I mean, we were. there was a lot of I think maybe there's a lot of trust, and also because our fortes are so different, especially
Mhm.
now. I spend a bit more time outlining, and Elisha obviously spends a lot of his time doing arrangements. Um,
Mhm.
so
Can you tell
with
people
that,
what top lining is?
top lining essentially is just vocal lyrics and melody, and
Yay! I will high five you.
yeah,
That's my thing as well.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, lah. But also we do kind of do both as well. Some of our tracks are top line by Elisha's, and then production sometimes starts from me. But yeah,
Yeah,
what's the experience like for you? I
yeah.
may be experiencing a completely different thing. He's like,
Yeah, I think like what she's like what you said. Back then there was a rigid, I guess like a rigid boundary where yeah, my background is more on towards like the arranging stuff, and then she was more of, top lining. But I think there is a change I feel because we're slowly kind of feeding off each other through like just for the past years that we're working with Aja. And I think the result of that is what you mentioned was, sometimes I started the melody and then she started doing like more of the production side for like some of the songs as well. And
Mm.
um I think I guess the boundary is slowly getting blurred in a sense. That's from experience, but at the same time, I think it kind of produces like this organic evolution and change and growth to how we approach writing our songs as well, and
yeah,
also kind of like the intentions and intentions behind all of it as well, because we started off with just let's just write 4 songs, and then when we and then
accurate. Oh,
Don't know what to do with this.
yeah.
Okay.
And
that's
fast
true.
forward to now, yeah, it's we give more thought into the songs that we made as well. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So when did you guys decide on the genre? Cause like
the
yeah.
the genre decided us.
The genre chose you.
It's
Yeah, and
true.
it's such a
True.
curious and such a odd thing, like because okay, when I was in school, like my major was songwriting, right? And a lot of the times, like what my teachers would tell us is pre-plan a song, like destination right, especially so I'm more top lining, so I focus more on the lyrics and melody and things like that. And then so a lot of times like we need to think of the bigger picture first before we can flush out the smaller details, like lyrics, the themes, and blah 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 blah. So oftentimes how I would approach a song is I see the end goal. I know how it should feel. I know what I want to say. I know the story in and out, and then I work backwards from there. So and then my thing is I will hand it to the arranger and then to the producer next, and then go into the studio, that kind of thing. So it's super cool for me to see, and I guess it's how people. I feel like I'm pretty old school, like you guys are like doing it so collaboratively and like in sync, like the tag team thing. That's super cool. And so yeah, I lost my train of thought. uh
Woof woof. I'm back.
Burn
Inside
the
Out.
coal.
My train of thought just crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I, okay, yeah, back to the genre choosing you, right? So I already know what kind of song I think I want to go for, what kind of sound I want to go for. Then I will approach the kind of producer that would suit the song, right? So for you guys, it's write the song first, go with the flow. Everything is with the flow. Collaborate. Everything came very naturally. So what is the I guess okay, let's talk about the first EP first lah, huh? So you guys wrote the song, it's vocals, guitar, am I correct? at first? Vocals and guitar,
Yes.
or is there like
Was it?
production already?
There was production. Like we were
There was
writing and
there was
producing
production.
at the
Vocals and
same
guitar
time.
is part of it.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
as you
that's
guys were,
generally so. Sorry, after
sorry,
you.
I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just trying to say. Well, is our writing essentially the producing and the writing goes hand in hand most of the time because then the sonic direction would highly influence the writing, and it would kind of highly inform each other on what are some of the what was the direction that we're headed
Mm,
towards. So yeah,
Right.
we're not.
yeah.
Yeah, the writing and producing will always go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. I've never done it that way, I think. Like I've always had like a complete song first, and then send it to producer or send it to arranger, and then I hear the sound. But like to use production, to use producing as a tool to assist your songwriting, that's super cool.
I think
Yeah,
I think the bigger reason was because we do everything ourselves. So
yes,
DIY.
yes, yes. We arrange ourselves, we produce ourselves.
Mm,
We So it gives us like this, I guess, the opportunity to tell the story from a different angle as well. I think that's why she said that it goes hand in hand. So it's
yeah.
not just the songwriting part, it's also the production part, it's also the sound design part, because we play a part in all of these stages of
mm,
creating the song as well. So we know the story of the song. So that kind of influences us to how it sounds like,
And where
to
the
the
song is
synth.
leading you.
Yeah, where the sound's leading us as well, like
Yeah.
everything, the sound, how the guitar should be played, how are the
Mm,
synths, how are the beats, should like when should the beats come in and change, and just manipulate all of that to kind of intertwine with, say, if there are lyrics in the songs, if there are for the specific top line, for a specific melody that's in the song as well. So it's kind of
yeah.
like just this dance in the
Right.
process.
And it's a mesh together, and I would
Yeah,
imagine much freedom as well writing it,
yeah,
writing songs this way, right?
yeah, yeah,
yes,
definitely.
yes, definitely.
We had. I think we have a few singles that are a lot more vocal driven, and
Mm.
we were essentially kind of writing those tracks get to get more radio airtime.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because radio requires a certain format. And so
Tell
these
me about
songs
it.
were it's another podcast, but so these songs like Child, Why, uh, they were uh, kind of almost intentionally formulated, whereas our EP and everything else that we've made afterwards and before during, yeah, there's pretty much uh, there are no rules. Like we do whatever we want to do,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Because like
That's so
I don't know what I find. Um, I find it very impressive. Like when you were saying, like before you write the song, you already know what you want. Uh, that's not it for me. I need to hear it and kind of let it take me wherever it goes. Also because I'm like self-taught lah, so a lot of it is very instinctive. And
and that's so
so yeah,
cool. And I'm struggling with that, honestly, like because I already have this structure in my head. So for me, my struggle is stepping out of my comfort zone and stepping out of the guidelines that I've been provided with, that I've been
mm,
using as tools. So and even like a certain way of writing songs, certain way of writing lyrics, rhymes and things like that. Like as much as I love songwriting, like and I don't regret choosing it as my major in uni, but uh, it's a I need to work with people like you guys, so that I get to expand beyond what I've been uh conformed to. Yeah.
and
So I
likewise, I'm trying to learn a lot more about the different tools. My tools are pretty limited, so I think it is. Yeah, I mean, Elisha, we do strike the balance for each
Yeah,
other, I
I'm
guess.
learning to feel.
Yeah.
In what
It's
way, Elisha? Can we help?
in okay, to put it in a less stranger context, like just like what you said, like a formula, a guideline and everything. I have all those, so it's hard for me to like break out of that. So, and it's kind of taking focus away from actually like feeling and being honest to myself of like, what does this sound make you feel,
Yeah,
and what does this arrangement, the lyrics, the words, the sonic direction and all.
yeah.
So I'm still trying. I think it's a lifelong process lah for me. It's
Oh, yeah.
very slow, but I think like just working with Phoebe, it kind of like slowly like smoothen, basically just like breaking that rough,
The
like
rough edges
that
out,
thing. Yeah, yeah, the
so that
rough
we're
edges.
picking at your
Yeah,
diamond
just
right now.
yeah,
Prefer
yeah, that's
carrots.
yes. But
Prefer
yeah,
carrots, the vegetable.
so 20, I have 24 carrots, vegetarian.
now,
But
now
yeah,
you have 10 lah. Now you have 10. We're still picking up.
yeah,
Still
there's still more
planting.
carrots inside. There's not a lot of it, but yeah, it's that's me. That's me. Like what Phoebe said, we kind of like find a balance through that. I'm
Mm,
lacking in certain areas where she's a forte on, and I guess vice versa as well. So that
mm.
Definitely.
we kind of make, yeah,
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it. And it, everything, life, music, what we do, who we are as people, like how we feel, all these things, it ebbs and flows and it manifests into our product, like the songs that we put out. It's our baby, it's our product, however you want to put it. And the more we understand who we are as songwriters, I mean, the more we understand who we are as people, what our mechanics are, or what uh, clicks with us, does, what don't, what doesn't, like the more we are able to showcase it in our music, and it's clearer. And I feel like that is our very clear form of expression as well, as people, right? Like you cannot tell people, this is how I feel, but I can show you when I play the song, this is me lah, this is part of me, it came from me, and there's no words to describe it. So I think at the end of the day, that's the beauty and the core of songwriting. You're telling a story, but at the same time you are putting a part of yourself uh in it as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I
yeah,
resonate
it
with
is.
that really deeply because now that there are a lot of flashbacks about why even we started, why even the decision to write instrumental music, and it it did kind of strike uh, a lot. It did kind of strike some people around me weird because when we were just releasing music, it was very instrumental, and a lot of people who were used to knowing me, some friends, family, as a singer songwriter, would just be like, "Why are you not singing track? Like, I was waiting for the whole song for your voice. Then it never came out. I felt disappointed. Like, oh, you missed the whole point listening to the piece." And
Mm.
I resonate deeply with what you said, um, because there are times and there are experiences in life where we can, as songwriters, put it into words and put it into a song. But there are, I think I was also kind of,
Oh,
you
sorry.
agree?
I think my puppy outside agrees.
Woohoo! I feel so loved by
Preach,
puppies.
preach.
Stand for the puppies at the back. But I will,
The
yeah, yeah.
underdogs.
Oh, I feel that's very
Yeah.
nice. But I was saying, I think I was also at a place when we started to write for the EP where I was just writing songs and realizing that I had so many things that I wanted to say, but I didn't have the words to say them, and
Yeah.
lyrics just there was just no lyrics that came for me to express and the emotions I was feeling at the time, and I guess that's
Mm.
why we kind of naturally, at least myself, gravitated towards wanting to try to just like, screw it, I don't have to think about top line. Let's just make something that sounds like
Sounds good.
what, yeah, what I'm feeling. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's so wholesome. And I
Oh,
feel like like listening to your EP and more instrumental stuff. And then I mean, I like all bands, like all, artists or musicians, we change and we go through hmm, okay, we're melayangin now lah ha, because I have been thinking about this as well, like we want to stay true to, we want to stay authentic to who we are as people and as artists, but it's a fine line between, having both feet in authenticity as well as staying relevant in the current trend, the current sound and the current aesthetics. So as like before we had anything, like it's easy to say, like it's comfortable and it's easy to say, let's not think about anything else because I just want to write, I just want to express myself, I just want to create something that I'm proud of. But as you and when that becomes a success and as you move along, I'm curious, how do you guys as songwriters, as a producer, as as arrangers, as and an artist manage both, um hmm, the your independence as well as commercial uh demands?
that's a good question.
That's why we had child and why.
Yeah,
And then there's everything else.
that's true. That's true. And it's exactly, we made the first EP with no expectations from ourselves and anybody else, but no one else knew what were we doing. But when it did come out, and it did kind of, I mean, it did get a very tiny amount of attention, we then felt like, okay, let's continue to do this.
Yeah.
And you're right. We did spend, I think we spent a year or two trying to balance that out. We were trying to be
Mm,
relevant, of course, because then when we release Child, especially, um,
It was beautiful, by the way.
thank you.
thank you. But when, yeah, so when we released Child, we were so lucky because we got to work with, uh, a great videographer and a great team with the music video, and
Yeah.
it got picked up. Uh, I think it also resonated with a lot of people. So
Yeah.
following that up, before that was why was a bit chill, but yeah,
Mm.
we were trying very hard. And was it 20? Was it last year? Was it 2 years ago? 2020 didn't happen.
2 years ago.
20, yeah. So after Child, we were trying to follow and just maximize, I guess, the window of attention that we got,
Mm.
and we just felt by the end of the year, by the end of last year, we just felt exhausted, to be honest.
Yeah.
Elisha was
Which
talking
is,
about this before.
yeah.
Like I think before you came on, like we were boraking for a bit. Like yeah. Sorry. Continue.
Oh,
Let's talk a
No,
little bit
continue,
about the
continue.
burnout thing.
Yeah.
yeah, we did feel, so we released Desolate, our second music video, uh, late last year, was the last thing that we did.
Mm.
And kind of releasing it, uh, we realized very honestly that, coming into this year, as much as that was a lot more, that avenue of, that style, that avenue of music was probably more palatable for the public.
Mm.
Uh, it was just tiring because that was not how the band started.
Started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and as much as we love those songs, we love them.
Mm.
It's not like, I don't like this bubblegum song. Uh, that's not the case. We love
Yeah.
it, but it wasn't written with the same purity and intention that the first
Mm.
EP was, nor Tulsa. Uh, so we decided this year, you know what? Let's just work on writing music,
Yeah.
um, and just I don't know. It's a big topic, I guess. Now branding is everything, marketing is everything.
Yeah.
Um, but we were just tired, so we just wanted to write for ourselves for once, and that's what we've been doing
Right.
this year.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, so the pandemic came at a good, well, not the pandemic. I guess the third lockdown came at a, the pandemic. The pandemic is never good, but the third lockdown came at an opportune time for you guys, to take a step back and to start looking at things from instead of an overview already, but s- to get back into the micro level of why you guys started doing who is Avery Fos in the first place, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were definitely gearing for before the pandemic hit. We were writing music at one point just so that we could hopefully pitch to music festivals. We really wanted to play music festivals,
Mm,
and that when that kind of comes in, when intention kind of comes in with writing music, we you do kind of end up writing for radio 3.5 minutes, writing for a
right.
Mm.
music festival. It probably will sound good live,
Yeah.
and they're not bad. I think these are important things to consider.
Yeah.
But then once the pandemic hit, it almost was like, why are we still thinking about that? Let's just write it
Mm,
for,
Yeah.
just write it and build a world that we're happy with. And then we also like got some projects doing a soundtrack, and that was then something new for us. So, like, oh, maybe it could be something.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's really cool because it's very different. It gives us the freedom to explore a very different headspace and world building
Yeah.
sonically, I think. Yeah.
Right, and then it's a full circle. Now you can use your broadcasting background, and Elisha, you can add up to your structured thing, and ta-da.
But
It's
yeah,
yeah. Sorry.
no, I was just about to say that I'm curious about how Elisha has been experiencing this.
Ah, which the process. Yeah, it feels. I guess like for me, it's a lot like the band, yes, but I can't really run away from just like the personal experience and personal journey, how it affects me, and
Mm,
especially with just writing the music and all. I don't write a lot. I'm more of like arranging, basically doing quote unquote the dirty work, like what I do right now. Like what I do right now, it's more of doing doing like what I've been doing for a long time is more of like giving a service rather than trying to like like arranging and then sessioning, recording for
yeah,
people and all.
and it's for
So
other
I
people.
Yeah, it's for other people. So I think
Mm,
like for me this is a, I guess even from the beginning it was kind of like a discovery of me journeying into like a different area where I'm not usually involved in as well. And
mm,
I think I'm still learning.
yeah.
And
So,
yeah, especially like just tying down to like going back to a different headspace as well. It came to a point where we were trying to kind of like get into radios, get into fests that it's the whole experience of writing that EP slowly became a blur. And it
Ah,
felt, yeah, it felt like, when you're drunk and you do something and then you're trying to recall and then you say, sorry bro, I'm drunk. But one thing is we
you
weren't
still did
drunk.
it.
Yeah. No, but then the thing is we weren't drunk.
Yeah.
So I guess like it's kind of like an indication where we kind
Mm,
of like, I don't know what's the term, lupa diri, like you forget about yourself. And
maybe misaligned
yeah,
already.
I guess
Mm,
misaligned. I guess in some parts, I guess misaligned for me, but I
mm,
think at some parts as well, just to shine it in a different light. I think it's more of a process of evolving, of developing, going somewhere.
mm,
But I guess a lot of some things kind of gets lost in translation, and I
yeah.
think right now we're just trying to get it back as well.
Yeah.
without losing the maturity and the experience that we've gained throughout the journey lah, from the beginning.
Aww.
Yeah.
So I love this. And how many years has it been since you guys, first started working together on the
So
EP until now?
that EP was 2017.
4.5 years, 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 2017, the EP.
Yeah. Your collaboration has lasted longer than some marriages. Congratulations.
Oh, it's good to know.
So another question then, how has working together for 4.5 years now changed you guys individually and as a musician?
To start off, I guess I'm starting to write more myself. Like it's less of it's
Mm.
on top of just working for other people as well. I'm starting to write more
Yes,
of myself.
Elisha. Feel
And
more, express
yeah,
more.
yeah, feel more, express more. I'm trying to channel that into creating something that I've never created before, like songwriting and all.
Mm.
And um and individually as well, like I don't come from, I would say, like my taste in music is vastly different from Phoebe's. Like
Yeah.
for one, I don't really listen to pop. And yeah, I'm not a pop person. It's very cliche, but yeah,
Mm.
I'm more jazz. Like yeah, it's so cliche, but I just have to
Purist.
tell the truth.
No, I
Yeah.
understand. As I grow older, my taste slowly also start to sing it towards.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
like especially like around here, it's so cliche to tell people, yeah, I like listening to jazz. Like people, oh, you come from a music school, of course you like jazz. No, that's not the reason. It's because
Mm.
I like it for how it is. But yeah,
Mm.
I don't listen to pop. But then just working with the band and also working with Phoebe as well as a person, um just trying to like learn things from her perspective.
Yeah.
I guess like one other big thing is, like I mentioned earlier, to kind of feel for a certain vibe, feel for a certain sound and song,
Mm.
and slowly kind of just open up myself to like different sounds that I've never listened to before. Just
Yeah.
pop mostly, and that kind of influenced me to kind of just marry these different things that I like and the different things that she's exposed me
Yeah.
to just create something different. I'm an explorer by heart. I like to experiment stuff. So
Mm.
she gave me a different perspective on how to approach certain songs that I've never listened to, and then just use those
Mm.
elements and then just um play around with whatever that I receive throughout the years. But yeah,
Right. But that's also the spirit of jazz, isn't it? To explore.
yeah, yeah. It's oh man. I'm not gonna say too much because I might sound preachy.
Pretentious.
You're showing off
but
now.
but yeah, there's a lot of misconception regarding the genre as well. Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah.
starting. Yeah. Starting the preach. Yeah, and I guess the more I dive into it, I'm still learning the genres that I still like. I don't know everything about it, but I think it's more of like just, I guess, building my relationship even further with the genres that I like, and also the type of music that uh, I'm usually like fed from Phoebe as well throughout the years.
Mm.
So um, I guess that's the essence of jazz.
Yeah. Yeah. You pick and choose, and then you explore, and then you expand and extend over
Yeah,
it, over the
yeah,
original motive, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. Just see what happens. Like
Mm-hmm.
for me, when I write songs, when I write or arrange on or just working on anything personally,
Yeah.
for the most part, I don't even know what's gonna come out. So I think there's a thrill in there. There's a disadvantage if you do that. If you're working for someone, but then it's kind of like a thrill that I enjoy, especially when like I feel like there's no
Same.
consequences in doing it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you have to do that for yourself sometimes also to keep sane,
yeah,
and to remind yourself why
yep,
you're still doing this in the first place.
yeah, yeah. It is. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a
Thank
thrill in not
you.
knowing.
Yeah.
It's true.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, actually I think pretty much the same because our strengths and it's such a different spectrum of um, philosophy, musics even.
Mhm.
It's also such a different. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if it's an age thing, but I do consume a lot less pop as of the past 2 years. I have noticed.
More
Um,
alternative now?
More. Uh, I I I don't know. Maybe we're just looking for a lot more substance in music
Yeah.
Mm,
today. But there are
mm,
good pop out there, really good pop too. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I guess it's for me. It's exactly this. I wouldn't say exactly that. Quite similar to Elisha. And I'm learning how to uh, also expand my palette in music.
Yeah.
Um, and definitely realize, and definitely kind of, it's like learning a language.
Oh yeah.
When you have more vocabulary, you can express yourself um,
Yes.
with a lot more words. And I
Yes.
think music is the same. And just trying to find a balance between both, I guess. Yeah, because then with
Mm-hmm.
knowing when 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 you know what you don't know, it's easy to learn because then it's very easy to okay, this is what I need to learn.
Yes.
And but then when yeah, but I also do kind of experience a lot of the limitations that sometimes experience informs, and I think sometimes that's like I wish I had the confidence and fearlessness that I had when I was a lot younger, and I just didn't know. I just pressed button. Um,
Mm-hmm. The
but
naivete in approaching music.
yeah, and the limitations and the creativity was a
Yeah.
lot more freeing. Well, nowadays with experience, there's a lot of limitation that I set for myself. Like, that probably
Yeah.
won't work, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with Elisha, I'm definitely learning how to learning how to. I think we're both like maybe we can sign up an audition for Dora the Explorer. When we learn how to explore.
I'll
And then the
explore.
clue is right in front of you.
What is it?
Yeah, what is where is it?
Where's the blue bottle?
Can
Can
you
you
show
find it
me?
for me?
Yeah, that's so cool. And like um how I relate to your story and to your, growth is also every time I teach, right? I think, yeah, uni days, being in a music college is one thing, but I feel like I've learned the most and I've progressed the most when I started teaching, like, because if I don't know it well enough, I cannot teach it. I have to know it
Mm.
inside out so that I can teach it. And I have to experience it, especially when you teach vocals. Like, it's not an instrument where you can touch, you can point at the key or the string or move your fingers, like you cannot open up your throat and tell, okay, it's this note right here, that kind of thing.
Imagine if you could.
Oh, in I feel like in 20 years, when
Maybe
Don't don't touch me.
AI.
Don't touch me.
not
Personal
touching.
space.
Yeah, but like, so it's especially for singing, it's such a feeling thing, and it's such a, like, I have to tell you, okay, this voice sounds like, it has to sound light and fluffy like a cloud so that they can envision it. And then, oh, you should feel vibration in your head, that kind of thing. And it's I have to experience it myself so that I can tell my students. And when my students ask me things that I don't know, it beckons me, it really pushes me to, I have to learn it so that I can come back to them. So I'm helping them and they're helping me as well by one going back to my roots and my basics, and two by challenging me and really put me on track. Like going to classes is one thing, but actually to having to teach somebody else, they keep you accountable more,
Yeah.
because you're doing something
Yeah.
else for other people. But that's also speaking of my lack of self motivation. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, so we've been talking about your songwriting process, the music, and who you are as people and as musicians, and how you've changed. Now, let's talk a little bit about your the aesthetics. Like, I know we've been talking for an hour now. Sorry, I'm rambling. So a little bit
Okay.
on the aesthetics and how did you guys because the first thing that came into my mind when I saw, the Spotify profile, and the songs graphic am I saying it right? Graphic design, like the single artwork,
Artwork.
right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's very minimalistic, but because it's so minimalistic, like there's nothing too flashy. Like I remember the color, like white, and then like with a little bit of things here and there. So like, who designed it? What made you guys settle and be like, okay, this is it, we're gonna use this, that kind of thing.
We decided from day one that uh, we wanted to go with illustration work for our art.
Oh.
Um, I think initially, correct me if I'm wrong, Elisha, but initially it was because we just felt like the EP fit and a more a more illustration on like surreal kind of direction instead of just
Yeah.
mustering our faces
Yeah.
on.
Mm.
And then it just continued on because then with illustration we were afforded so much more possibility of what it could look like.
Yeah.
And also because we were both for the most part not in the same place. So if you
Yeah.
notice the photos that we use, I still have long hair because we've never taken a photo since.
Ever since lockdown.
It's okay. By the time you guys meet each other, you have long hair again. So
2030.
New one.
Oh dear, he's the one with the long hair. But yeah, yeah, we were not together all the time, so it makes sense to go with illustration. And because our music is a lot of times it's larger than life. So then, okay, well, let's just go with it. Also, because we know quite a few friends that have been very kind and they're so good at what they do.
yeah.
Um, we've worked with people like Fish, like Ruth, Khan, our friends, and most of the artwork have also been done by a close friend. Her name is Crystal. She goes by Artokri. Did I say her name right? Artokri.
Yes.
I
Shout
rehearsed with
out.
Crystal. Um, yeah, lah. I mean, we joke that she's like the unofficial third member of the band. And because she's been with us since day one, she was the one that designed the EP's
Mm.
artwork, and with this year's work, everything that you've seen so far has been from her as well. And
Oh.
yeah, so yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay. And does she get an insight into, like, oh, this is the upcoming single, and then she starts creating from that, or is it a finished product and then you pass it on to her to let it listen, and then she's like, oh, I have this idea.
I think it's a mix of both. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like that. But for the most part, she she has the privilege. Yeah, privilege, wow. Because she's
Privilege.
around
True privilege to design.
privilege to
It's
do
our
design for
privilege.
us. Yeah, yeah, it's our privilege to just give her kind of like the first peek of the song that we have. And I think it's the same as how our songs are larger than life.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own interpretation of the song as well. kind of take advantage of those elements, and she uses those like elements to kind of interpret how the artwork should look like
Mm,
with what she's feeling when she's listening to the song as well.
yeah.
So
Mm.
um yeah, we've been working like that since because we kind of know like that works the best with like working with her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And isn't it so cool, like this song came out from both of you guys and it's how both of you are feeling, or like you guys created the song together, and then to have somebody else listen to your song and then show you like literally how she feels when she listens to your song. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
visually.
yeah. We kind of have an idea of what we want when we kind of approach
Yeah.
illustrators, but I don't know. We may be one of the,
Yeah.
those clients when they come up to you and they're like, I want something fluff. I want something fresh and fun, but not so young. What are you talking about? We're like, and then we don't have we oftentimes we don't really have mood board, and we just,
Yeah.
there's a lot of free reign. We're quite okay. I don't know. At least that's what we think we are. Maybe our
Yeah.
illustrators that are watching are like, that's not true. Uh,
I've been getting
uh,
briefs.
yeah, you guys keep asking me to change 10 times. But there's a lot of freedom, and yeah, I agree with you, Joe. It's beautiful because I always believe that once we once we put out a piece of music, and whoever that listens to it or whoever that receives it, the song is as much yours as a listener as it is
Yeah.
ours as writers, because interpretation is, nobody can take interpretation away from you, from any
Yeah.
piece of art. Um, so it's one of our favorite, it's one of our favorite things. It's one of my favorite things to like how do you feel after the song? How do you feel
Yeah.
after listening
Look
to that
forward to,
piece?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't, even if it made you feel terrible, at least we made you feel something. It took you on a trip.
Mm.
Um, and we
At
were just
least it made
talking
you
about,
feel something. That's
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Music is such
You.
a replaceable thing nowadays with Spotify. You just song after song. And
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
yeah. So yeah.
Like nowadays I don't even, back then, because we are forced to buy a CD, like we have to listen to the album from top to
Mm.
bottom and how the artist intended it to be, right? And
Yeah.
nowadays it's just singles after singles after singles, and like, and Spotify curated, like, curates our playlist based on our taste and what we listen to, like based on algorithms. So it's like it's hard to step out of that format already, but that's another topic
Yeah.
already. Like we can go so much. Okay, so I know it's been, thank you for taking the time out, for speaking with me, and for letting me pick your brains. Like this is so valuable, and like I feel like through this, like connecting through music is one thing, jamming and like writing together, but this is also another form of connecting. So thank you so much for doing this with me. And before you guys go, let's go back to basics, right? Avery Fos means light, is it, in the Greek uh,
Yeah.
word, in Greek? The Greek
Frost means like in Greek.
cannot English anymore.
Let's
So
change language. Which one you want? You pick.
bahasa Malay.
Bahasa
Elisha,
can.
I
What?
cannot.
Bahasa
So
can. Anyways.
Phos means light in Greek. So what made you guys decide to? How did you guys come up with this, Avery Phos?
Take it away, Elisha.
Wait, sorry. I'm breaking off a bit.
Oh,
Lagging,
okay.
lagging.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll quickly tell the
No,
story.
no.
Well,
Okay.
essentially, light because we wrote the first EP in a bedroom studio, and that just happened to have fairy lights. So we're like, okay,
Aw.
since we write the first EP in a room set in that setting, and that kind of gave us the, I guess, the atmosphere and the vibe of writing the first EP. so let's just figure out a cool way of saying light, and we stumbled upon Fos. Avery was because we had the idea of like let's come up with a bad name that doesn't sound like a bad name, um, so make it sound like ambiguous. You know,
Yeah.
is it a person? Is it a solo act? Is it a band? And let's make it gender neutral. Avery kind of
Yeah.
happened to be a gender neutral name that we stumbled upon. Avery Fos didn't make sense, but it rang all right, so we went with that.
Yeah. It sat well with you guys lah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the only thing that sat well because we came out with that name in the middle. How many hours? 4, 5 hours
I
bus
think
ride
4 or 5
from
hours.
Ipoh.
Yeah.
So the entire
In
car
the
ride was just
yeah, in the rain, in the jam,
It was such a bad.
people going back after holidays.
And you guys are in the car thinking of band names. No, honestly, that's the best time to think about because, like, where would you, like, how would you rather? I guess that's one way of doing it. Other than that, will be like sitting in the mama drinking teh tarik and like, oh, what about this lah? Oh, what about that lah? Oh, what about lah?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So, thank you for doing this.
No, thank you.
Anything that I should have asked that I didn't and that you guys want to share?
Let me think.
No, I don't know.
No, yeah. I think we we prepped some stuff as well. We prepped some stuff as well. I think we kind of covered everything. We were like jumping in and out, and all of the things are kind
Yes.
of intertwined. And I think that's all. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
I have my phone right here just in case I miss things.
Yeah.
Like I'm like the queen of Malaya. Like I will lose my train of thought. I'll be like da, 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 da. But I've learned after almost 2 years of doing this. Like it's oh I did forget something. I'm sorry,
What?
guys. Before you guys go, rapid fire. Five questions
Oh.
because this is a music podcast, so I have to not have to, but I think this would be beneficial for listeners. Okay, rapid fire. 5 questions. Just bleh, what you're thinking. Okay. First
Oh,
question. Let's go Phoebe and Elisha. Phoebe and Elisha lah. Huh? First question. Top 3 favorite artists or top 3 artists that has influenced you the most.
Influenced me the most. John Bellion, Ellie Goulding, Akilo.
I love
Me.
John Bellion. Sorry, Elisha.
Is it my turn?
Go.
Okay, for me it's Robert Glasper,
Oh,
Jen Aiko, and
last one.
oh my god, it's so hard. Okay, last one. It has to be the last one.
Only 3.
Oh my gosh, Sungazer.
Ooh, who's that?
It's an electronic band. If you might know the bassist of
Sungazer.
that band is Adam Neely.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. This is good. Like at least you tell and then I can go search it out after this. Yeah. Ha ha ha. I'm like in between of both of you guys. I love John Bellion. I love Robert Glasper. I'm gonna da 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 da. And that's why my songwriting is Roja. Anyways, number 2. Current favorite song.
Oh, current favorite song? I've been
Yes.
frantically trying to learn All I Ever Wanted by Yeba.
It took me so long to learn October Sky.
Oh, I haven't learned that one. It's on my list, but yeah, I'm listening to a lot for at the moment.
Oh, I love. And her new album just dropped.
I love it, Queen.
Queen. Okay, Elisha, your turn. Sorry, I will shut up.
The worst, Jen Aiko.
Good one.
Ooh. She's
It's
so
old, but I like it.
yeah. It's like an evergreen song, lah.
Yeah, it is.
Phoebe, see what I did there. Sorry. right, number three. One Malaysian artist that inspired you.
Froya.
One Malaysian artist that inspired me. Ah, I forgot the name.
Ayo.
I forgot the name, but I
It's
remember
okay,
the
even
song.
because you're not Malaysian.
Yeah. No, they were active last time. I
Mm.
really love
Oh,
their vibe.
Basement Syndicate.
Yeah, Basement Syndicate last time. Oh, I really love them.
Shout out to Mikey, shout out to Hiren, to Fook. One more. I forgot.
Omar was the drummer.
Oh yes, Omar.
Yeah.
Yes, Syndicate. Yes.
Yes.
They also have an honorary Malaysian.
Alright.
Okay, two more. In one sentence, what does music mean to you?
Sorry, can you repeat that? It kind of got cut off.
Oh, sorry, Elisha. In one sentence or one word, what does music mean to you?
Oh, music. I don't know. Music is. I don't know. Elisha, can you go first?
Oxygen.
Oh,
For
Yeah. But
that's a
it's
good one.
like, but like, oxygen is not like, oh, you go every day saying, oh, I love oxygen. But
yes,
that's why, like, it's something that's necessary. It's something
oh,
that sometimes you take for granted.
yeah,
It's sometimes you feel like, oh, oxygen is the best, especially when you go diving and then you come out and then you realize you really like oxygen. But yeah,
and
it's
you
all
need
those
it.
different things. You need it, but yes, essentially you
Yes.
need it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think music for me is. I think it's like a time capsule. It makes
Oh,
when an old song can take you back to a place.
yep.
Even a new song can make you feel familiar things that maybe you've never felt before in a long time. And so I
Yeah.
think music is one of the most immediate things that can do that for anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it's nice.
totally agree. Oh, last one.
Uh,
An artist you'd recommend to your audience, to our audience today?
Hmm. Hmm. So many to choose from.
Avery Fos. Avery Fos.
Every fast.
I want to go first. I want to
Okay,
go
go.
first. People need to know who Yeba is.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I agree.
I agree. I agree. And I will take that confidence. I will borrow that confidence from Joe and say that people need to also know who Avery Fos is.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I do think I do agree, and I do think that in this region there has to be more than just whatever that's being fed to us on the radio, and not
Yeah.
just us, but there's so many brilliant artists out here in this region in Malaysia and Brunei that are just making amazing music, and we just need to we just need to find them and pay more attention to
Yeah.
what's good out there. And I think,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And uh I agree. And on top of that, like I I wish that people has well not has I wish that the upcoming uh musicians are on the other side lah, because I'm
Mm,
thinking about
yeah.
like TikTok, like we have to go on TikTok to market ourselves. Da, 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 da. Yes, it's cool and it's trendy, but also take the time to be what's it called, to step out of that and I guess I'm losing my train of thought, but never mind. I will leave this here. This
I do know what you mean. Like, I feel like that could be another podcast that we can,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's,
another thing already.
yeah. But yeah,
All right. Thank you for layaning my serabut mind for my
thank
Malayang
you.
mind.
Thank you for picking our minds.
Thank you for allowing us to be Dora the Explorer.
Thank you. You're most welcome. And for those of you who are listening, please check out Avery Fos on Spotify or any streaming platform that you're using. And you can find Avery Fos on Facebook as well as at Avery Fos Music on Instagram. Follow them, support local music, support Bornean music. And like yeah, spread the love, spread the music, spread like good things. And I'm so thankful for this conversation. It
Likewise.
really inspires me and it motivates me to and it reminds me also like I'm doing the right thing. I'm connecting with good people and I have faith in our music scene. So thank you all so much. Thank you both of you. Thank you listeners for listening. If you like this, share with people, share, subscribe, all those things. You know what to do lah. Okay. All right. Thank you all for listening and have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.